Okay, in this quick example, we're going to assume that we have three different temperature applications that we're monitoring, but we want to display all of the results on only one waveform chart so that we can trend the temperature from our application for temperature 1, temperature 2, and temperature 3. So we've already looked at using a waveform chart, so I want to start there. I'm going to create a waveform chart down here at the bottom that will indicate the temperature for all three applications. So I'm going to expand the modern and go back in. I was already under the graph, so selecting the graph, and there's the waveform chart we used earlier. So I'm going to bring this, I'm going to place it on the front panel. We'll go ahead and change the name to temperature. Temperature trends will be good. And go ahead and range it for 500 and 0. That's 800. And then with all of our waveform charts, I want to make sure that I right-click on the scaling and take the check mark away from auto scale. Why? Because I don't want it to auto scale. I want it to stay always 0 to 500. So let's take a look what happened on the block diagram. There's my waveform chart. These are my three data points that I want to send over to the waveform chart. So I can pick this up anywhere and I can bring it over and wire it in. Now, if I want to bring in my second data point, you're going to notice that I want to have some problems because it's going to give me broken wires. So let me go ahead and get rid of those. And I'm going to wire this back in the way it was originally. So what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to figure out a way to get all three data points to be indicated on the waveform chart. But the waveform chart as it is will only accept one data input. So we're going to use what's referred to as a merge signal, and that's going to be part of a function that we'll place on the block diagram. So initially, if we're not sure where that actually resides, we can select the search and we can search for merge, which I did just previously. And I see one selection that's referred to as merge signals. I'm going to double click that. And it's going to take me down to where it actually is. So it's under express signal manipulation and merge signal. So I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to drop it onto the block diagram. Now, if you notice, if we're assuming that our inputs are coming in on the left and the outputs on the right, it looks like we can have two inputs and one output, but we know we actually need three. So this merge signal, we can change the size of it. So we can stretch it to have as many inputs as we really would care to handle, but I'm going to go ahead and resize it so that I only have three inputs and one output. So I'm going to start to wire these from top to bottom. There's the first input. I'm going to take it to that node. My second input, I accidentally erased these a second ago. Let me recreate those. This will be my temperature 2. I'm going to bring this as my second input, and then my temperature 3 data I'll take as my third. Now the output of my merge will simply go to my waveform chart. So I'm good to go there. So let's take a look at the result on the front panel when I actually operate the VI. I'm going to run this just for a few seconds. And as it's building, you're going to notice that the temperatures are all changing based on their inputs, all independently operating, and each temperature, 1, 2, and 3, is being trended on my waveform chart. There's one other thing that I can do, so I want to stop my program very quickly. You notice it shows plot 1. Well, I know I have actually 3 plots now, so I can take this and stretch it out so that I have each individual plot. It shows what color they are, and then I can go in if I wanted to, and I would give these unique names so that the user would know which color was related to which temperature. All right, so that's a quick example of using the merge signal to show multiple trends on one waveform chart.